Gosh. Because I'm just brilliant this morning. All right.
All right.
Um, looks like we are
Yes, we
live.
are live. And I'm going to turn my sound off. There we go. Boom.
Fantastic. All right. So, if you're watching this, I hope you're watching this because apparently me and my not so smart self decided to list this video as unlisted for the longest, and so I just made it public about 2 seconds ago. So, if you're here, welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the Written Melanin channel. My name is Chelsea, better known as CM Lockhart, and I am here with Audra Russell, and you may know her from Between the Reads podcast, or you may know her from her book Bloodland. She's been on the channel multiple times. She's amazing. We're amazing. We're gonna have an amazing discussion today. And in case you missed it, we are talking about Early Departures by Justin A. Reynolds today. And you guys, it's a really great book, and I am excited for it. Audra, are you excited for it? I'm a little hyped.
I am mad at you for this book.
Me?
Because I'm an emotional wreck.
I mean, I didn't write it. I didn't know.
But you pulled me into this. I was like, okay. And then when I read it, I just it's apropos that there are roller coasters in this book because this whole book was a roller coaster. But it's like the whole book was like going like up, 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 up. That's what I felt like this whole book was, just going up that hill.
Yep.
And just like freezing at the top.
It was.
And then it was just so many things.
It was
like I kept reading and he kept just dropping these little hints. I just
it was a roller coaster ride for sure. But for those of you who are new to the channel, have not heard of this book, first of all, Written Melanin is all about supporting Black authors. So Justin A. Reynolds is a Black male author who writes YA, which I don't know. I feel like that's kind of rare nowadays. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, if you have not heard of Early Departures, it is Justin A. Reynolds' second book. And it is, his first book was Opposite of Always, which a lot of people talked about. And then Early Departures is his second. And I know he's also doing another book coming up. He's doing Miles Morales coming up. But that being said, I want to read you guys the description from the back of the book. And this discussion should be pretty spoiler free-ish. I say free-ish because this is live, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to spoil anything.
Yeah, but this is a book discussion, so know what you're getting into. All right, so Early Departures. The description reads, what if you could bring your best friend back to life, but only for a short time? Jamal's best friend Q doesn't know that he died and that he's about to die again. He doesn't know that Jamal tried to save him and that the reason they haven't been friends for 2 years is because Jamal blames Q for the accident that killed his parents. But what if Jamal could have a second... But what if Jamal could have a second chance? A new technology allows Q to be reanimated for a few weeks before he dies, permanently. And Q's mom is not about to let anyone ruin this miracle by telling Q about his impending death. So how can Jamal fix everything if he can't tell Q the truth? Early Departure weaves together loss, grief, friendship, and love to form a wholly unique homage to the bonds that brings people together for life and beyond. So, that's what you're getting into, you guys.
Yeah.
And, okay, so, you guys can't see it because I don't have it up on the screen today. Normally I have the live chat up on the screen somewhere. But if you're watching this, hi Benjamin, hi Batgirl, how you doing? Glad y'all can make it. I appreciate it, even though that I did not do this correctly at all. I'm glad you guys found us. So, Batgirl said that she loved how this book handled grief. It wasn't an all-consuming sad fest either. I laughed a few times while reading it, and forgiveness too. And Ben said it's an interesting premise, which is the same thing that I thought when I read it, because it's just like, we all have those moments, right, of, someone leaves permanently, and we're just kind of like, what if we had another chance? What if that last argument wasn't the last thing that we ever said to them? What if we had a chance to make things right? And that's kind of what pulled me to the book, I guess. But like I said, it's I didn't say it. You said it actually, but I agreed with you. It's it's a roller coaster ride. And kind of like Batgirl said, it's not all consuming grief, which I think is also really interesting because when you start talking about teenagers dealing with death and things like that. And to be fair, this book has a lot of death, like more so than just the best friend. And it gets it's not heavy, but it's also very
intense.
It's intense, and it makes you think. But also, one of my favorite things, because like you guys, as I was reading, like I was putting tabs and stuff in my book and like highlighting and things like that, and I was just like, there's what I liked about this book is there's so much like good advice in it, and like so many sound words of wisdom. I guess I wasn't prepared for because okay, not even gonna lie, you know, when you go into a YA book, you're halfway expecting the characters to make a lot of bad decisions, right? And I feel like you don't really get a whole lot of. You have like one character who's like the mentor, right? Who gives good advice. But I feel like everybody in this book was giving good advice. Like, all right, I'm gonna highlight this. Come back to this in the future.
Yes. I was making my little. I have it on my Kindle, so I was like doing a little highlighter thing and making little notes. Yeah. So, where we gonna start?
Where are we gonna start? Okay, so I like to start with the characters because that's who I am. I can't fight it. So let's just start with that. Who was your favorite character in this book? Because just so you guys know, the main character is Jamal, and the friend who dies, his name is Q or Quincy. And so the story follows those two as well as Q's mom. Her name is Mrs. B or Mrs. Barantes. And also Jamal's girlfriend is involved and her name is Autumn, which I found their relationship really interesting. But I'll let you go first.
And his sister Wit.
Yes, his
sister Wit. Who is my favorite? I guess I don't know. I think I like Miss Barantes, even though she's not as explained as the other characters. I mean, she's in the book, but not as much as the other characters. But I just like her because I feel like she's this glue that kind of holds them together. See, I'm not sure what to say and what not to say because something happens to Jamal's parents.
Well,
and so
we can say that they died because that's in the summary.
Okay, so his parents died, and so Miss B is kind of like, it gets revealed over time that she kind of like helped them with all the financial issues and just kind of kept them together and kind of became the surrogate parent. And she's a nurse and she's just this awesome person. And I think we don't really see her as much as I would like to see her. So I think she's my favorite because she's kind of that quiet force that we often have in our lives that's like there but isn't loud about it, Yeah. I think she's probably my favorite.
Okay. I would have to say that I think Autumn was my favorite. Not even gonna lie.
Really?
I just really liked that she was there and she was present and just like I said, I really liked their relationship because I feel like all things considered, they had one of the better written relationships because again, YA, it's usually about people either falling in love or getting over a heartbreak. And so I just really like that for Jamal. She was really stable, but also she was on the inside, but also the outside, if that makes sense. Like she didn't know him when he was best friends with Q.
Right.
And so she was kind of like trying to take everything in stride, but also I liked that her reactions given everything kind of made sense. So like they had their up and their downs, right? But from Autumn's perspective, like she's totally justified in being pissed off,
Yeah. And especially because, she when Jamal lied to her and told her that, Q wasn't, a big deal.
That's like,
and then she finds out that he like was his best friend from like forever.
yeah, like they're basically like a blended family, you know, like
Right.
that's that's kind of a huge deal. And you're like, he was nothing. Like, it's cool to be upset, but also why lie about something like that, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, and I don't know, I just really, really like that she was there and she was kind of stable for him. And even after finding out that he lied, she still helped him make amends when she could, you know? And I'm like, see, that right there, that is a person who loves you, bruh. Because a lot of people, just regular, run-of-the-mill girlfriend that you're going to break up with in like a year or like 3 weeks, wouldn't do that for you. You know? And
no, it'd be over and that'd be the end, and you'd be like, "That's the one that got away."
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, well, it was fun while it lasted. Moving on, right? On to the next.
Yeah, but she was. I like the way that they met too, because it was like she just like appeared out of nowhere. Like, I literally jumped when I was reading the book, and he had left his parents' funeral because he needed some air, and he goes out this do not exit, door, and then I forget what she says, but she's like needed some air or something like that, and he jumped and I jumped because like, where the hell did she come from?
It's like, who are you?
In the window?
Why are you here?
Right.
But honestly, I like that because it's so genuine. Like, you don't plan how you meet people all the time. Sometimes they're just there. You're like, oh, okay, hi. You know?
Right.
And I kind of really like that she put her whole foot in her mouth, because, like, when you're at a funeral and you're like, yeah, it's like, it must suck. Like, I can't imagine it. He's like, here's your chance. And she's like, oh, these are your parents. My bad, homie. I didn't.
That's when I would just melt into the floor. Like, I'm just now. I'm just gonna go.
But I also liked the let's say the mystery of the book, which we're not going to like divulge, right? But I also really liked how they built up, because going into this, you know exactly what you know from the summary, that Jamal's parents are dead, and that he blames his best friend Q, right? And so part of me, the entire book was just like, what happened?
Right.
Like, what?
And he kept leaving these little drops. Like, it was like he just like kept slowly revealing. I'm like, come on, man. I need to know.
Let me know. But then, you realize that it's, I'll say, a two-way street. It's not just Jamal who's mad at Q. It's Q who's mad at Jamal. Because, when a friendship falls apart, it's usually not just one person. It's both people, right? And so also trying to figure out, what did Jamal do?
Right.
There's a lot of questions. And
it's a lot of death.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to say this one, too, that, Q lost his dad. So, like, the things that they're mad at each other about are very, very similar. That's all I'm going to say.
And they're very personal, and they're very much things that you understand why it can't be forgiven, in a sense.
Right.
But also, but it's also one of those things when you're on the outside looking in, you're like, you should have done something different, but it's very easy to be like, you should have done something different when you're not in the situation.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I really like this book for that, but also I felt like it was very, I'll say, I don't know, I felt like in the beginning you're like holding your breath when you walk into this book. And as you read through it and you get closer to the end, it's like you get closer to just like a very deep, refreshing like exhale. Like,
yeah,
it is okay. It's.
I don't think I breathed through the whole book. I was just like,
it's like, I am now a scuba diver professional. I don't need to breathe anymore. So.
Right? Because the whole time I was sitting there, I was like,
oh my goodness.
Over the page. Like, this is one of those books. I love books where when you read it, the world just falls away and you have no concept of time, and it's like you're in that world and you're just like, you're like a silent standby observer. And that's what I was. I was completely immersed and stayed up far too late finishing it last night, and was just like, and then couldn't, because then I started to fall asleep. So then I got up early this morning. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting there reading, and it's just like time just fell away. It's just, I love those kind of books. It's just, it was very intense, and like I said, I truly like found myself having to like breathe, because I you know, I'm a very emotional reader, so all this stuff is going on. I'm like, I can't take this. I can't take this. I can't take it.
Same boat, because I was just like, yo, what? Oh my goodness. Huh?
You say, what now? What happened? What happened? My jersey's coming out. I'm like, what happened? Wait, what? What happened?
I was just like, but the other thing that I really like is like how you said time fell away. I also really like that it felt, okay, so there's this thing, right? Because as someone who reads a lot of YA, you know, you can tell sometimes when you're reading a book written by an adult about a teenager, because the voice is just off. I really, really, really love it when you get a book and it's just like, no, from the first page, it feels like Jamal is the one telling this story. You don't feel like there's a grown man writing this. You feel like it's a very personal story about a boy who went through this, you know, a teenager. And it didn't feel like he was being overly, like, pop culture references or just trying to be overly cool. Like, I know what the kids speak like, you know?
Right.
And I really enjoyed that, because I feel like some people nail it, and some people are like, you have moments where you're like, ooh, okay, so this kind of took me out the story. You know what I mean?
Right.
This book is not that. So if you're looking for a good read, this is definitely it. Can't recommend it enough. But also, it's heavy. It's, I would say it's heavy. I would say the topic is heavy, but it's done in a very page-turnery way. You don't feel like, oh my goodness, like I need to like sit down and pray and meditate before I open the book, if that makes sense.
It's not, like you said, it's not heavy in a bad way. It's just heavy in a like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, like, because there's death, but the way that he deals with it, it's like, it's not a sad fest, like Batgirl said. It's like, you know, okay, this happened, and I'm trying to find a way to move through it. You know?
And I feel like if you've ever experienced grief, this is a really good book. Like, even if it wasn't as personal as, like, losing your parents or losing, you know, someone, your best friend or someone that close to you, like, if you've ever experienced grief, this is a really good book to read. Because, like I said, there are a lot of gems, a lot of, okay, look, I'm going to try to find it for you. Give me a second, because I was reading it, and I was just like, you right, Autumn, you right. You better tell him, girl.
Yeah, Autumn kept Jamal in line. She did not play at all. I mean, like, you know, she called him on his stuff all the time, and it's like you said, she really loved him because she just would not let him, you know, just treat people in a shitty way and get away with it. How about that?
Just saying.
How about that? She was like, nah, homie, you don't get to do that. And she's like, I understand you got grief, but nah, you don't get to do that.
All right, so I'm reading this directly from the book, you guys, and this is the only quote that I'm going to read directly because I'm not trying to get like, oh, you're plagiarizing. No, it's just, okay, that's not the intention, all right? But this is Autumn talking to Jamal. I'm not gonna say when in the story, it's just the advice. Listen to the advice she gives him, right?
Right.
So this is what it says. She taps the center of my chest. The letting go you keep talking about, it's not you letting go of your bad feelings about Q. It's about you no longer blaming everyone else for your choices, for your actions. It's about actually meaning all of your I'm sorries. Or better still, just stop hurting people, man. Stop running away. You deserve to be happy. We all do. And I was just like, well then.
I feel like that's you, Chelsea. Like, she's your spirit animal.
That's why I liked her so much. I was like, she's right. Like, mean what you say and say what you mean. It's not about you, bruh. It's not.
Right.
Okay?
When I read that part, that is exactly the quote where I was like, that sounds so much like something Chelsea would say. I can't even.
Like, own up to your actions. You did the thing. Okay? Like, you're not perfect. Like, okay,
right.
maybe Q is wrong,
right.
but also you're wrong too. And if you want to let go, let go. Okay? That's on you. You got to mean it. And
what I really loved is how she was just like, and just because you made your amends does not mean he has to forgive you, bruh. So you just need to sit with that and understand that sometimes you can't make things better, and you just have to own up to the fact that you hurt somebody and let it be.
Okay, so like I said, I got all these tabs, y'all, and so I know exactly what you're talking about because I highlighted it.
Yeah, she was not.
And that's actually when Jamal. Okay, so I'm going to read one more little quote because, like I said, this book is so full of gems, you guys. And this is when I'm not gonna tell you what was happening really, but this is from Jamal to Q at some point in the book after things, right? And he basically said this is a direct quote from the book. Again, it's not my intention to plagiarize and I'm not offend nobody. Just go read the book, okay? There are links in the description box below. They're affiliate links. Go ahead and buy the book, all right? Okay. Don't come for me. All right? But it says, when you leave someone, even if you see the error of your ways, even if you apologize profusely, it doesn't matter. They don't owe you forgiveness. They don't have to take you back. And that, I feel like, is life advice that needs to be on every elementary wall across America. Like, forget the golden rule. If you even if you apologize, they don't have to forgive you. So, like, if you do something messed up, homie, you were not, just because you said I'm sorry, just because you asked for forgiveness. That's why it's called asking for forgiveness, not requiring forgiveness. Okay, you can't require somebody to take you back. You can't require somebody to be your friend again. You can't require somebody to get over something that you did to them. Okay? Doesn't work that way. You don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? Agency over somebody else in that manner. You only have agency over your actions.
And even if they forgive you, that does not necessarily mean that things are going to go back to the way that they were. That means they forgive you.
Right.
But they still may move on. Like, if I forgive somebody, I saw a quote once that said, if I forgive you, I'm not going to wish you ill will. I still want you to eat, but just not at my table.
Talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
How about that? Like, how about that?
My quote is not as profound, but I remember watching Medea, and she was like, forgiving ain't forgetting. Okay? I can forgive you and not forget what you did. You know? And I don't have to. And somebody else was on Twitter, and similar to the same thing. It's like, just because I forgive you doesn't mean I'm going to put myself back in the same situation. It just means I'm over it, and I don't hold, like you said, I don't hold any ill will towards you. I'm not mad about it no more. But how dumb do I got to be to, like, want to be friends with you? Like, if we're friends and you betray me, homie, cool. I'm glad we're over it. It's in the past. It's a done deal. But also, no, we not friends no more. You know? I don't know. I feel like I get that sentiment a lot because, side note, because I honestly cannot talk about a book and have a straightforward conversation because that's just not how my brain works, okay? But in high school, I had a friend who will remain unnamed. Let's just call her Brittany because that's the most generic name I could think of right now, right?
Is this former best friend that I've heard you mention before?
Oh, no, not at all. Okay. This is before, this is back in high school.
You know me, I'm going to be an investigator and try and figure it out. Go ahead.
I've never talked about this girl ever before, so you probably have no idea. But in high school, I had a friend, we'll call her Brittany, okay? And, you know, I had one of those little play relationships in high school where it's like, oh, we like each other. We don't. Okay, fine, right? But at the time, this was, like, all-consuming, right? Because I'm, like, 15, right? Anyway. Brittany decides that she likes my ex-boyfriend and decides to be like, oh, yeah, I'm dating him now. And I'm like, how dare you? My feelings are still hurt, right? And so I was like, okay, cool. Be happy then. I hope you fall in a ditch, okay? So fast forward 2 weeks, right? And she's like, I'm so sorry, Chelsea. I realized the error of my ways. Can we be friends again? I was like, you know what? I knew who he was because I broke up with him, but you deserve this. However, it's okay. I recognize that you were wrong, and you recognize that you were wrong. I accept your apologies, but no, we can't be friends, bro. Go fall in a ditch, okay? I'm done. So that was my story of Brittany.
That's like breaking every single sister code in the book.
Right?
Like,
this is basic because she was like, I didn't know it was gonna hurt you that bad. Well, why didn't you? You never seen a movie before? You never read a book, bruh?
And that's some real white girl shit right there. Like,
and she wasn't. And she wasn't. So
that's like, and that shows your character. Like, so what? If I have another boyfriend, are you gonna try and like fit and sneak around with him? I mean, like, that says something to your character. Nah, sis, we can't be. She's like, look, you're doing me, Chelsea.
I'm just saying, we can't be friends. No. Like,
I wish you the best. That needs to be a meme.
It's like, we can't be friends.
That look was if, nah, we can't be friends was a person. I need that script.
So, that's just what it is. So, getting back on topic of the book that we actually read.
We back on topic.
Yeah. I say all that to say that things happen and you're not guaranteed forgiveness, and sometimes you just can't be friends no more. But, I also really liked the fact that even though both of them did things that they saw as unforgivable, their relationship and who they were as people was also took precedence over a single moment of bad friendship choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say. Because again, I'm not trying to spoil the book. If you want to know what happened between them, you got to read it. But also, slight plug, if you want to check the description box below, those are affiliate links if you want to go ahead and get the book. You can check it out on the Melanin Library, which is a database full of nothing but Black authors. We've got like 1,200 books at this point. And there's also just a regular affiliate link. So if you buy the book, you're supporting the Black authors you see on screen as well as the Black author who wrote it. So, win-win all the way around.
You sound like that voice at the end of a commercial that gives all the side effects of the medicine.
Not the side effects.
The triple speed. So that you can't understand it. All you hear is like, like death.
It's like
lose hair. It's like, what? Wait, what did you say? Yeah, those side effects be crazy. That's another story. But you sound like that voice that goes real fast at the end of the.
Well, thank you, I guess. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Your husband is picking on me. How can a person be your spirit animal? Ben, you know what the hell I mean. Her twin soul, her whatever.
I think anything can be a spirit animal, honestly. It's all fair game.
There you go. Ben.
And, okay. And Batgirl said, I feel like even if a reader has never experienced personal grief or whatnot, there's something emotional here that resonates with everyone. And I 100% agree with that. Like, this is a very emotional book. And I feel like there are so many different types of relationships that are explored, not just between Jamal and Q, but you also have the siblings, Jamal and Wit, who is trying her best to be there for her brother, even though she also lost both of her parents at a really critical time in her life. And, she's like super pregnant and she's like trying to be there and present, for her brother who is kind of spiraling out of control. And then you also have the relationship between Jamal and Autumn, which is, for the most part, a very healthy relationship. But also Autumn's like, hey, if you're going to lie to me, lie to somebody else. I don't have time. Right. And then you kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, you get where she's coming from because, like, absolutely don't lie to me. Right. Like, we passed that point. Right. But also you get where Jamal is coming from and he's like, I can't tell you. It's not that I don't want to. It's just like, I literally cannot tell you.
Cannot tell you. Right.
And I think that's a really interesting dynamic, but also the dynamic between like Jamal and Wit and Mrs. Barantes, because they're all, it's kind of like when you have a shared secret with people that you don't think you'd have a shared secret with, and that kind of changes your dynamic a little bit, And I just really appreciate the moments where you can tell that these are people who know each other really well. Like, these are not strangers, even if they haven't talked for a long time. They know each other, And I just really appreciated that because, like I said, it is very emotional. It's just intense. It's a really intense book, you guys. It's fun. It's hilarious, though. Not even gonna lie, there are moments where I was just like.
with you when you read the book, Chelsea. I feel like I'm just gonna just stop and be laughing. Like, what part are you on? Because I'm not so loud right now.
I'm a very animated person, you guys. I'm like this in real life, so I'll just be reading and I'll just be like.
You know what part made me go whoop was when Autumn was taking Jamal upstairs and was like, you know, my Nana is not gonna hear you. She's watching Judge Keenan or whatever.
I love
and how about she's like, baby, and she's like, yes, Nana. You just gonna bring him upstairs like that and not bring him in here to say hello to me?
It's like, how dare you bring somebody in my house and not let them speak to me? Who are you?
Right. And not only that, but Autumn probably thought that her grandmother didn't know she was sneaked out the house. She was like, you need to, so this the boy you've been sneaking out the house to see.
Right, like, you can come
like
over here too, bruh. Just so you know.
Yeah. Right. She's like, you're welcome here. Like, I love Miss Barantes and Nana because they are those quiet people in your lives who know more than you think they know, and who can set you straight without being loud about it, without being brash about it. They just say something off the cuff, and it's just like, you go and later on, you're sitting there thinking like, yeah, so she just read me.
Yeah. I love Nana because she's really the epitome of, you know, that you ain't getting away with nothing in my house. I don't know what you thought. Just because I ain't say nothing didn't mean I ain't know.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And I was just like...
Yeah, Nana was not here for the games. Nana was like, nah.
Nana was a real one.
I know all about it. Yeah. And she's like that Nana that she doesn't have to say much more. She doesn't have to be forceful with her words because you're going to feel convicted after she says whatever she says.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I love how...
I was like, oops.
I love how flustered Jamal got. Like, yes, no, wait, yes, no. What do you want me to say? What's the right answer?
And Nana was like, and there ain't nothing open after midnight but legs in hospitals. I was like, oh.
But wait, was she lying though? Was she lying?
No.
Nope.
Nana said it straight. She was just like, look,
she's like,
let y'all know, I know y'all love each other, but let's keep it under control.
Yeah, she was like, I know what this is about. Y'all not fooling nobody. All right.
But yet she let them go upstairs. Like, what is that?
You know,
I could not connect with that.
That wasn't my truth. So I don't know.
Let any boy go up to my bedroom. They'd be like, there's the living room right there. There's the den right there. There's the dining room. There's the kitchen. Take your pick.
Yeah, nah. I think Ben saw my room once before we got married, and that was because we had company and it was a cookout, and we were just like, we're not finna watch this movie. And even then, we had to leave the door open, and he had to sit on the floor. Like, absolutely not. No. Like, no, not here.
Like, yeah, no.
And that, so,
yeah.
And she was like, and the fact that Autumn was like, she has a walker, we'll hear her if she tries to come up the stairs.
Right.
And I was just like, that's dirty.
Don't underestimate Nana, because she might be able to get around with that walker. You know, so without it. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean,
that is Nana.
Nana, you don't know what Nana got. All right.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying.
Just saying. And
just appear there.
Bad Girl was like, Nana was like a Southern grandma, too real. And they always want you to speak to people. Southern hospitality. That is real. I have never, ever been to somebody's house. Okay, and I say somebody, and when I say that, I mean black person, because I generally don't go over to white people's houses. That's just my life. That's my truth. Okay? Just being honest. Okay? You don't walk into somebody's house and not speak to them if they are there. Like, how dare you? That's rude. That's so rude. I don't know if that's a Southern thing. I just thought that was like a human being thing. Like, I pay bills here. If you're going to be here, speak. Hi, how you doing? Yeah. Like, acknowledge that you are in my house.
Right.
Let me know that you're in my house so that if I need to remove people, I know that you need to be removed. Right.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
all this to say that there are a lot of fun moments, and can I say, be honest, like I really love the cheesy, corny, family moments when they did what they call carpet denim. I'm not gonna ruin.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys, but I loved carpet denim.
And I love that they picked back up with that. That was like that. Like I was laughing and crying.
Yeah,
at the same time.
You see them healing throughout the book, and I just really appreciated that because it's not a sad fest. It's like it's a sad thing, but it's one of those things where you realize that life goes on, and you have to be a part of it, you know, and you can only sit on the sidelines for so long. And even while you're on the sidelines, like the game is still happening, you know. It's just you're not part of it.
He said something to that effect, like towards the end, he was like, you know, you have to get up, you have to move, even when it hurts to breathe, and even when it, you know, hurts to, you know, he's like, we have to find our ways to move on. I'm like saying it much less eloquently than he did, but he basically said that you know, yeah, grief happens, terrible things happen, but we have to keep living.
Yep.
You know?
And I feel like that's what the whole life lesson of this book is, that is like you have to keep living, because it, like you can't stop. You can't. People leave and it sucks, but that's also not the end of the story. That's not the end of the journey. That's not the end, you know.
Right.
So, honestly,
which I think is probably why he didn't let me see how Q left. He was like, yeah, nah, because some people he needs privacy. I'm like, no, he don't need no privacy, because I need to know what happened. I need you to go back and rewrite this part of the book, because I want to know what happened. I want to know how he left. Like, and he's like,
I kind of like that. It's just kind of like, you know, this whole story is everything, right? But in this last moment, it's just like, that was just for us. And I feel like you have to have moments where
I wanted to know.
She's like, I get it, but I'm nosy. All right, tell me what happened.
All right, I just need to know.
But you know who I feel like we didn't talk about, who I actually kind of feel not the most sad for, but which I was just kind of like, man, that really sucks, is how so what basically Jamal in the book refers to Autumn as his person, which I thought was just so cute, because like, you know, that's not just his girlfriend, that's not just the girl he loves, that is his person, like that is his designated person for life, right? And he recognizes that. And not even gonna lie, I didn't know at the very beginning, I didn't know who Autumn was. I was like, is that his girlfriend, or is that just like this really close female friend who was just like a third in this little trio? But no, it was a duo, and that's actually his girlfriend, which I thought was really nice, right? But staying on topic, linear thoughts. I liked how he talked about having this person, and then, you know, there's Q, and then there's Bree, and I kind of felt bad for Bree, because it's like, you met him kind of when he was already dead, which sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
But also the fact that she didn't get left out from it, I also thought was really nice. You know. So.
But that had to suck on several levels. One, because levels. I mean, Q was like always in the shell, and you know, then he finally starts to live after he's dead.
Yeah. And that's basically what he said. He was like, you know, the part that sucks the most about all of this is that I was just starting to live, you know? And I feel like that's so honest, especially when you, like, let's be real here. We're talking about a teenager dying. He hasn't graduated high school. You know, he is very shy. He's never had a real girlfriend, you know, and he's already experienced a lot of death in his life, and now he's like, I was just getting out of that. I was just starting to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be, and like actually make strides towards it, and then like boom, you're dead, and it's just like But I will say this, Q takes it extremely well throughout the book, so
yeah, he does.
Kudos for that, because I don't and then I'll be like, oh, okay, guess we're going to Paris.
Yeah.
All right. You thought you were going to take me? Joke's on you. I'm already dead. So, how about that? Seizures? Yep, that's just me going into cardiac arrest. It's fine.
Oh God, you're so right.
I mean, that's literally my biggest fear of traveling. It's just like I don't want to get taken, but it's like, ha, you can't take me if I'm already dead. It's fine.
Uh,
So,
like, what you got, bruh? Throw it at me. Yeah.
But
But I mean, they seemed like they would have been such a great couple. Like it was that.
yeah.
Even if it didn't last, it would have lasted for a long time because that was that first like true love,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then I think what really broke me down was when Q was like, "What really sucks is like I'm not going to get to be that funny grandpa that tells those stories and has my great." Like I think that's when the finality of it all really hit him. He was like, I'm not even going to get to do all this stuff. I mean, that's the end result. Like being grandpa, that's like the last thing, but there's no high school graduation, there's no college graduation, there's no becoming the comedian that he wanted to become, there's no having a wife, there's no having the kids, there's watching the kids. It's just none of that. All the things that we really mark our lives by, he's never going to have.
Yeah. And
and then I feel for his mom because she's already lost her husband, now she lost her son. Like it's just her.
Yeah, but that's part of the reason why I was really glad that they kind of let her into their family. Like they didn't just forget about her, because I feel like a lot of times, that's what happens. Like if you have a childhood friend and you're so used to seeing their parents, but then like even if it's not like a death, right? You guys just grow up. You're not in the house anymore. You don't see them anymore. You don't check on them. You're not like, hey, are you good? You don't interact with them anymore because you're not interacting with the friend that you were over there with or anymore. And so I liked that even after Q was gone, they didn't forget about his mom. They didn't just let her fall to the wayside. Like they were still there for her. And I feel like that's kind of everything, And
she was godmommy to the baby.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, is a character, because that little smirk, little baby smirk, and the little, they keep talking about the little smirk she does. I'm just like, yeah, she's a pistol. She's going to be something else growing up.
She's going to be something else. But, and I also really like that, it's kind of like, you lose one person, but, life goes on. There's another person who comes into the world. It's kind of, it sucks, but it's like a kind of a cosmic give and take type of thing.
Yep.
Yep. But we are coming up on like 45 minutes. So one thing that I did for sure wanted to ask you about, that's less about, I guess, the content and more the structure of the book. Like, how do you feel about the chapters? Because the chapters, you guys, are actually really, really short.
Okay. So that makes it addictive, because when you're on a Kindle, it says, like, I always have it set to tell me how many minutes are left in a chapter. And it kept saying, like, through a lot of chapters, it's like 1 minute left in chapter, right when I started the chapter. I was like, the hell? Because some of the chapters were, like, really short. But I like the flow. I like the flow that it gives, because it's almost, how do I want to say it? Symbolic, because some of the chapters were longer and some were really short. And I feel like when you're going through grief, some days are really long and you wonder how you're going to get the hell through them. And other days just like go by in a blip because there's just so much going on. So I feel like that was almost on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
To me.
For sure. I
didn't understand that the numbers, though. The chapter numbering kind of threw me a little bit. I'm still working.
That kind of threw me off a little bit, because I don't know. But then I'm also like, I have a theory, right? I could be 100% wrong, but my theory is just, a countdown from 100. So like, like how when they're like, when you're stressed out, either count up or count down. Like maybe it's like symbolic of, Jamal's countdown to being okay. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. I don't know, because Or maybe it's like 0 to 100 real quick. Like he started at 100 and he was not okay and he's back down to 0. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out. It's like, or maybe it's like I don't know. It's like a countdown to like when his life really changed forever. But then when I thought about that, I'm like, no, because his life really changed forever when his parents died. But that countdown is in there too. So I'm still not like that. That's throwing me. Like I'm probably gonna read the book again to see if I can put it together. I might just have to go in Justin Reynolds' DM on Instagram and be like, bruh, I need you to explain it.
Would love to know. Would love to know.
Because, yeah. Yeah.
But,
because I need to understand that.
I would love to know. So maybe one day in the future, if I ever get to talk to Justin Reynolds, I will ask him about it. And yeah, just let's speak that into existence one day. Right?
Now, would you reanimate somebody?
Would I reanimate somebody?
Because I feel like I don't think I could take that twice. Going through the death once is enough. Having to say it all over again, like I don't think I could do that.
I think it would depend. I think it would depend on who it was and how they left. Because I get it, because if you don't get to say goodbye and you have an the last thing you say is you arguing because you think, okay, I'll just see them later and we'll work it out.
Right.
And you realize you don't get later. I could see wanting to get that closure, I guess, but also so like if it was like someone who was old and they lived their life and you kind of knew they were sick, I wouldn't want to reanimate them because it's just like, they got through it, right? But I guess in the case of like this, when someone like it's someone young, especially, you die unexpectedly, and it's like you don't have your affairs in order. Like they even mention that in the book, right? Like to get your affairs in order, to let people know what your final wishes are, to get everything put all your ducks in a row. I'll say, I see it for that reason, but also if it's unexpected, to say goodbye, I think that could also be a very healing thing too. But I don't know if I would want to necessarily, because it's just like you have to be there in that last moment and you have to watch them. And I don't know if I could, like you, I don't know if I could take that. But it depends.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to think about it. That's not an option. Okay. I try to live my life knowing that I try to give people their flowers while they're here. Like I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being a part of this. Like I want people to know that I appreciate you regardless. And if I don't appreciate you, I'll let you know that too. Like, I don't think this is working out. You're not bringing value to my life, so I don't think we should continue this. Real words that I've said to people in real life. You're not bringing value to my life. So I appreciate you for being here and trying, but also I think that we should end this where it's at. I don't think we should prolong this any further. Remind
me never to get on your bad side, Chelsea.
I try to be very cordial about it.
How can you be cordial about telling someone they don't bring value to your life? There's no way to be cordial about that.
I mean, let's be real. Let's break it down. What are you bringing? Why should I be happy that you're here? Just because you're here? What are you bringing here? Okay, are you bringing positivity, positive vibes? Are you like ambition? Are you bringing like happiness, laughter, joy, like hilarity? Bring something to my life. Don't just take from it. Like, I don't understand. No. Like, don't just call me when you're upset. Bring some positivity with you when you show up. If you just negative all the time, you're not adding value, bruh. This is not a car lot. We don't lose value once we leave. Okay, we're a house. We have to invest in it. All right? If you're not investing, sell the house. Goodbye. We'll find a new owner. Okay? I'm sorry, you guys. This is why I don't have friends. Okay? This is literally why. Benjamin and my mom are the only people who like me. Okay?
I like you, but I'm just saying I'm watching my steps. Make sure I bring some value.
I'm actually very nice, you guys. I swear. It's just, what you bring to the table.
She's a joy. joy, but she suffers no pain. That's why I said she's like, I think you're a mix of Autumn and Nana.
Thank you. I will take that as a major compliment. Thank you so much.
It is. It is. It is. It definitely is.
Oh, okay. All right. But honestly, you guys, I think that's pretty much all we could say about this book. Because, like I said, it was spoiler-ish, but
Yeah.
not really. Because we didn't give you away any of the major plots. We just told you about the characters. But honestly, overall thoughts. This is an amazing book. I would definitely recommend buying it, reading it, sharing it with a friend. It's an amazing book. Especially if you know a teenager who is dealing with grief. I think this would be a really good book because it's funny,
Yeah.
but it also, like I said, is very healing in a lot of ways, and it has a lot of gems, not just for if you're dealing with grief, but just like life in general. Because I can't remember it, and so I'm not going to quote it, but I know it's tabbed somewhere in this book. But I'm not going to do that a third time because don't come for me, okay? I don't want any reason for anybody to say that I'm doing something wrong, right? But basically, there's a moment where Autumn is just like, you can't be a shitty person and still expect people to be there for you and just to forgive you for it all the time, even when they do, right? Because it's just like when you're good and then all of a sudden you're not good, the people who were there for you will try to stay there for you. But if you never come out of that bad place and you're constantly there, like, people are eventually going to start leaving you in that place once they realize they can't help you out of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
I like the way Q also called him on it too when they were talking. He was like, Q, you act like you're the only one that lost your parents. Wit lost her parents. They were her parents too. And he was like, and did you forget that your sister like made a major sacrifice and turned down her dream college to like stay here and be with you? Like, and that's when it hit Jamal. He was like, oh wow, yeah, I'm not the only one like going through this.
and that's life. Like, it can feel all consuming at times, but it's like, you're not the only one. You're not the only one feeling pain. You're not the only one going through stuff. You're not the only one who wants to help. Because even Q was like, they were my parents too. Like, they weren't, but also like I love them like my own parents. And it was just a really good book, you guys. Like, I could probably rant about it for days. I will probably go read Opposite of Always once I get over it, because I mean, honestly, real talk, the reason I did not pick up Opposite of Always is because I can't imagine falling in love with someone and then watching them die and then having to relive that over and over and over again. That just sounds miserable. But this was a really well written book, which makes me curious about the first one. I don't know.
And I found out from reading on Goodreads about him that he lost an aunt and a close friend, and that was the inspiration behind Opposite of Always. So, and I think this book too probably, is an extension of that, because those two deaths, he said, they hit him really hard. So I think these books are his therapy. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to keep with like the death theme as he continues to write, or is this just like a phase because he's healing, and so.
I would like to. Yeah. I'm interested to know, because he's a really good writer. But as writers, we're still people, and we write for the phases of life that we are in. So I don't know. I would love to. Like I said, I know he's doing the Miles Morales a comic, I want to say.
Yeah. Yep.
And so he's writing for Marvel currently. But I don't know. I just think it's really interesting to see where people go, to be able to see that growth and the change that people go through in experience. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for his next stuff. I may pick up Miles Morales. I'm not a huge comic book reader, but not gonna lie, I did pick up Nubia yesterday. So I will probably pick up Miles Morales. But yeah, we will see. We will see. But that is it, you guys, for this melanin discussion, as we're calling it. I totally blanked on what I was supposed to say next. Oh, if you like this video, tap the thumbs up button, It's totally free, doesn't hurt you. So help us help the algorithm and let people know that y'all like us. Okay, you want more of
Right.
this, right?
Yes.
So tap the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's not happening, and we're on break right now. But April 20th, we will be coming back for the Melanin Chat. It'll be me and Audra, and we're gonna be returning with all of the giggles and the ha-has and the knowledge and the gems and the
And
everything.
the hoop nannies.
Yeah, she's ready for the hoop nannies, you guys. I don't think I'm
I'm
gonna be able to
ready.
keep a straight face. So it is what it is. I accept it. That's fact. But those are Tuesdays at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to join us, then keep an eye out for that. Subscribe, turn on the notifications. If you want to grab the book Early Departures, then make sure that you check the link down in the description box below. If you're looking for other books by Black authors, check out the Melanin Library. There's also a link for that down in the description box below. As you can follow us on social media at our @. They are on screen at Written in Melanin, and then at Between the Reads podcast. Both of us talk to authors, so if you're into that type of thing, for sure, check it out. Thank you for being here. We appreciate
Yes,
you, especially
thank
since I messed up and did not make this public to begin with, because I don't know what's wrong with me, but it is what it is. Thank you for showing up. Batgirl, you the goat. Benjamin, you the goat for showing up in the chat, for talking to us, and that's it, you guys. We appreciate you, and until next time, we hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye.